Right then, here we are. I, by the way, must be mental. That noise you can hear is the heaters trying to put a bit of warmth into my poolly body. Tell you what, turn them off 2 ticks. Right, we'll leave that on. It is Friday the 3rd of January 2025, and I feel like I'm living in some sort of like augmented reality, right? Because normally at this, it's 4:30 in the morning. Normally at this time of the morning when I get up to travel to wherever I'm going, there's nobody about, no one around. It's just me on the road, right? Got up this morning, even in the village where I live, there was a car rolling around. The guy over the road comes running, jogging, 4:30 in the morning. By the way, it's -2. It is freezing. That's what the heaters were blasting for. Anyway, I've got a job on today. I've got some single core 500 mils. So we've got to install, they're only 9 meters long, but they've got to be installed, glanded and terminated. Now, I requested that they be HO7s, which makes life easier for all involved. So hopefully we can get them done in a day. I got contacted by George to come and cast my eyes over his job. I think it was supposed to be originally 300 mils, and I think it was just a bit too big for them. Maybe like the crimpers and the tools that they were using, you know, not everybody has that sort of stuff, do they? It's not something everyone carries around with them. So anyway, we're going to go and have a look. So I'm making my way to Leighton Buzzard now, and it's going to take me about 2 hours. So I'll let you know when I get there. Unfortunately, I'll be getting there at around about 7 o'clock. So it'll still be dark and cold and miserable. Anyway, see you in a bit. Right then, I've arrived. Well, I arrived about 6:20. It is now 20 to 8. We're just waiting for the cable to get dropped off. I've just met George from GB Electrics. That's who we're doing the job for. I'm going to go in and look at it in a minute. And George has just said what we'll try and do is get the cable into the switch room, and we're going to try and raise the ambient temperature of the switch room with like a gas heater type of thing, just to get the cable a bit more supple and a bit warmed up, and then we can get on it. I mean, I can take the glam plates off and get those drilled and stuff, so there is a job I can do. And yeah, we're gonna get busy. So I shall introduce you to the job soon. Well, probably in the next bit of the video. Right then, we're inside the unit now. Look, it's not that bad. It's relatively warm in here. But this is my, there's the van. This is my commute to work this morning, after the two and a bit hours I'm taking to get here. That's the cable, and here we have it. So the essence of the job: 2 per phase, 2 neutral, from that gland, well, from there down into the pit, and then we're going to put a piece of, oh, hang on a minute, let's come out a bit. So we're going to put a bit of rack up there, up the side, and then from, say, here, stop it, and we're going to go up and over and into this, which I've worked on before, which are a bit of a pain, but we utilise 1 bolt through the coppers, and there we go. And that is the job. All alley glam plates, so we're alright. We can get through it. So we're going to have to pull the cables, the idea being we'll take that drum down there, we'll use the fork, the telehandler at the end, jack the cable up, and we're just going to pull it into here, cut off our lengths as we need them, and that'll do us. So we'll do a little montage of that, and then it'll be getting on there. It's relatively easy. It should take a day. I don't know how long that day will actually be. But I'll take you along for the journey, however long it may be. Right, so our weight is 338 kilos. Let's see if I can lift it. There we are. Right, so the plan is we're going to jack the cable up on the forks of the telehandler, pull it through. Right then, the panel people didn't supply any nuts and bolts for the connections in the mains in the panel, so I've got to steal them from here temporarily, and I'm gonna excuse me, I've got the hiccups, install them in there, and then I can get my measures for the gland holes. I'm gonna go 1, 2, so 2, 2, 2 and 1. We're only putting 1 neutral in, and I'm going to measure that with a piece of cable and the lug down to there. I'll show you how I'll do that in a minute. Oh, yes. Alrighty, so I've already marked it out, but just to show you, put the cable where it wants to go, put it into the lug, and then what you do is you make it nice and straight both directions, so that way and that way. Make your marks either side of the cable, and when you join that cross, you know that that's the center of the lug. However, this might differ because it's a 50mm A2, and if this one sort of overlaps or this one is too close to the edge, what you've got to do is you've got to move them accordingly a little bit, this way, that way, whichever, and it then allows you plenty of space to get your lock nuts turned and your cables in. So that is now ready to drill. I've got a 32 to go there for the earth. We've got 1 neutral, and then we've got the 3 phases doubled up in parallel. Hopefully I'll be able to show you some of the install. I just said to the lads, oh, we've got toilets on site. Yeah, they're just out there. So it goes out. I said, oh no, I need like a, not a wee, I need a, no, yeah, that's all we've got. Look at this. Oh man. So I just had to go in there, and believe it or not, there was like ice on the seat. And you get people in construction will go, absolutely no way, I wouldn't do that. Just normal, innit? We've had a slight disaster. Let me show you why. First cable in, it's crimped, it's got its lug on, you can see. However, the glands that were sent are A2 50mm, and this is a single core 500mm. It doesn't clamp down. The rubber doesn't clamp onto the outer PVC of the cable. So we've had to phone a wholesaler. Somebody has got them, but they're 45 minutes away. So it's a 45-minute drive to get them, turn round, 45-minute drive back. What we've thought of in the meantime, as an interim bit of work we can do, is, so see if you can follow this. I take out the glands that are too big, but I leave the lock nuts. I put the cables in and up, and because the cables are only 8.5 meters long, when the glands arrive, we slide them along the length of the cable all the way through and in to the pit and up and connect them. So that way I can still terminate them. I just can't fit the glands. Now we've got to hope that the 50S's will clamp down. I'm pretty sure they will. And I thought, these are things that you might be able to learn from if this does happen to you. So it's sort of a disaster zone at the minute, but we might be able to rescue it and fill in the time putting the terminations on rather than just waiting. So let's see if it works. Right then, let's get these lock nuts off. So yeah, taking the gland off but leaving the lock nut on, because the thread will still fit on the 50S, but the internal diameter of the 50S is a lot smaller than this one. So in theory, that lock nut will fit this thread on the new one. He says. Well, they're going to have to anyway, because I'm putting the cable through this up, connecting it onto the bar above, and then we're going to slide the whole gland and shroud combination right down the 8 meters of cable. You can't really see there, can you? Well, there we go, that's better. So that's L1, that one there, and now I need to get the other one in this hole here. So my plan is, that's the L1 there, so I'm going to pull it into me and then see that, like this gap that I've got here where that one, I'm not going to put it over the back like that, I'm just going to let it lay in there and then come round up and in the front. Yes, that's, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm trying to plan this like 14 steps ahead. It's like playing snooker. You've got to try and work out what you're going to do in the next 5 shots. But unfortunately for me, I'm absolutely rubbish at snooker. So I hope I don't snooker myself doing this. We'll see. Right. Let's see if it works. I didn't realise that was in the way. I'll be honest with you, that was alright. I thought it was going to be a lot worse. So now, you can see the cable there. I need to put the lug on it, lift it up, and put it onto the bar, and then I can sort of manoeuvre the cable. What there is just here, there's a unistrut. Now eventually I'm going to tie it onto that unistrut. So I need to work out what position it's going to be in to allow me to get the rest of the cables in front of it, so I don't cut anything off. I don't mean like fingers or anything, just the cables. Let's see. I can say this is the first time I've ever done this, so well, I never. Do you think I look like one of those, look, how are they called, gonks? That's what the wife said to me the other day when I had a wool hat on and the beard. I think that if you did that, let's see if I look like one. Right, I don't think that was too bad, I'll be honest. Let's see. Put the ring round it. I'm just going to strip it down now, take the outer PVC off. Go. Get a lug on it. Now, I want to lift it up into position, get a mark on it, down the lug and down the cable, so I know that it's going to be in the right plane, and then I can crimp the lug, I can bring it back down here, see, and then I can crimp it in a nice position. So if you look, just there, look, I've got a mark on the lug and I've got a mark on the cable. So now I know that when I crimp that, it's going to be, the palm is going to be flat against the copper bar up the top. Then I can tape it up, throw it in, put the nut bolt washer on, and then we can move on to the next one. And that's going to be the whole process for the whole thing. And hopefully we can get the glands back round and it's not too much of a hassle. So I'll get that crimp on now. The only trouble is with the crimping, I don't know how much of it you're going to see, because I need to be somewhere sort of in front. Right, where is my brown tape? There it is. So we're set away taping it up. Two wraps, and then lift it into position. Right, that's that. I'll do that 5 more times and then I'll let you have a look at it. Alright, right, we've got 6 in. So we're just waiting on an update on the whereabouts of the glands. I'm going to show you in a minute. I'm not putting the neutral in yet because I think it'll get a bit congested. And then we're going to set about this up here. See, I still can't do it. This bit up here to sweep the cables over and in. So this is what we got done so far. lock nuts, no gland. Terminated with the lugs on, taped up, just a temporary bolt through. So they're not tightened up because we need compression washers and we haven't got them. So, the idea is, let's go over here. Right. Gland on, shroud on. Push them all the way up the cables. And then I'll be stood in there, I'll get them up, tighten the lock nuts on, put the shroud on, tighten the gland down, and then get them all bunched together, sweep across there and up. We're going to temporarily tie them to these bars because the rack's coming later, so we'll temporarily tie them to there, and then we've got to get up and over into that. So that's the progress so far, and we are on, let's have a quick look. It's 2 o'clock, so we're just waiting for the lugs now, and then once we've done that, we can press on. Oh, well, that's good. We just had the call back, and he's 15 minutes away from here. So 15 minutes time, we'll have the glands, we can slide them up the cable onto where we need to be, put the neutral away, tie the cables up those brackets that I told you, and then we can start on the other side. So it's not the end of the world, depending on how easy it is to slide the shrouds and the glands up the cable. But I'll show you when we get them. So here we go, this is the process. Gland goes on. We're using the original shrouds. Luckily enough, they fit the other gland. They're obviously different makes, different sizes of the outside of it, as opposed to the inside diameter. So we've saved a little bit of time doing it like that. But we're just sliding them right to the edge now. And then I'm going to jump into the pit, push them up, tighten them on, and then we're going to be able to tie the cables together and bring them up, ready for doing the top end. There we go. We're having to take the ceiling out because I don't think we've got enough bend radius for the cables to ride in, so we're taking the whole board out and then they can box round it. I'm not sure. Right then, so we've got to take the ceiling off. The cables are going to ride up inside of it and come down. We're going to try and hit that now with the measuring cable down to its lug. Then I'm going to bring the earth in, because the earth goes behind it, to that one at the back. And then, hopefully, we can get L3. Because L2 and L1 are going to go up in this gap here. But it's what we've been left to work with, unfortunately. Right, before we do anything rash, like cut the cable, just have a quick check, see if you can follow it through, yeah. And it definitely goes to the neutral.
Yeah, all good, mate.
Happy?
Yep.
Cool in the garden.
Alright, do we get a glove or?
No, not yet.
Alright.
Right. Got the shroud. at this point I realised that the cable just wouldn't go in. The bend radius was too severe, so we tried many different methods to try and get the cable in, but basically we had to come up with taking more of the roof out and taking one of the joists out as well, because we wouldn't have got all 7 single core cables in. Because they weren't HO7 flexes, the bend radius was just too severe, as it was a 500mm single core cable. But when you're faced with these challenges, you've got to come up with something. Man needs his electricity.
Can you get to the inside? Oh, do this one?
Yeah, I can get to the inside, yeah. There we go, right, one in. But now, problem is, that has cut off the other ones coming in.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I can move it that way, slightly, and then I'll be able to get the other ones up and past, because it's those two, the L3s that are coming in there, and the L2s are going to go in this one,
Yeah.
with the L1s. So, right, the earth, where does that live?
Sat up.
Yeah. I might do a okay. Okie dokie, finished job. You've seen this bit anyway. They disappear into the trench, and then we've come up. So what we're going to do, there's going to be some framework made and some proper cleats put on and all this sort of stuff, but we haven't got that. So they sweep up, they do sweep out ever so slightly, but because they're not HO7 flexes, you're governed by that, the bend radius there. So we can't have it any less. Obviously that isn't as tight as what it looks there, look, because it does float round. It looks a lot tighter there, but yeah, anyway. So they come into the switch as like that, but you can see you had to take the sealing out because we wouldn't have got the bend radius at all, and then they drop into the switch there. They just need to be torqued up. But anyway, that has been longer than I thought it was going to be, because it is now nearly 8 o'clock. So if you've got this far, as usual, little thumbs up. Thanks very much for watching. See you in a bit.